I am 74 years old. And last year, the doctor told me that I have cancer. I'm not sharing this to make you sad. That's not why I'm here. I'm telling you this because, well, because the news did something to me. It opened something inside me. And I have been thinking about my life, really thinking, in a way that I never did when I was young and busy and sure that I would have more time. The curious thing is that I always thought I would have a moment like that. A great clarity, a sudden understanding of what everything meant, and in a way, it was. But it wasn't what I expected. It wasn't a blinding light. It was more like, as if the fog had lifted, and I could finally see what had been right in front of me all along. What I had been missing. What I had been postponing. What I had chosen instead. And that's what I want to talk to you about, if you'll allow me. I was 27 years old when I got my first real job. A good job. One that my parents would be proud of. I remember my father shook my hand. He squeezed it as if I were finally a man, and he said to me, "You're on your way now." And I believed him. I was on my way. Towards something. I didn't know what. But I was moving, and moving felt like winning. I worked hard. Probably too hard. But that was what you did. That. Drawing? Drawing? I said. "In a minute, my love. Daddy is working." She waited. About 30 seconds. Then she said it again. "Daddy, look, please." I told her I would. In a minute. She put the drawing on the coffee table, right next to my papers, and she left. I don't remember looking at that drawing. I don't remember what happened to it. But I remember that moment. I remember she was standing there. And I remember thinking, even then, that I should have put down the papers. I should have picked her up. I should have told her it was beautiful. But I didn't. And this is what happens with moments like that. They don't feel big when they're happening. They feel small. They feel like nothing. You tell yourself you'll have plenty more opportunities. You'll look at the next drawing. You'll go to the next game. You'll take a vacation next time. There's always a tomorrow. Except there isn't. My daughter is 46 now. She lives in California. We talk once a month, maybe. She is happy. She has her own family. She no longer needs me to look at her drawings. And I don't blame her for any of that. I blame myself. Not for a moment, but for thousands of moments like that. For all the times I chose work over the person. For all the times I told myself I was doing it for them, that I was building something, that I was providing for them. When in reality, I just wasn't there. That's what they don't tell you about success. It's never enough. You get the promotion, and then you want the next one. You buy the house, and then you want a bigger one. You save for retirement, and then you worry that you haven't saved enough. There is no final goal. There is no moment when you finally sit back and say, "I made it. Now I can rest." By the time you realize that, you're tired. And the people you should have sat with stopped waiting. I thought a lot about this after the diagnosis. Lying in bed at night, looking at the ceiling, Margaret asleep next to me. I thought about all the nights I came home late and she was already in bed. All the mornings I left early and she was still sleeping. All the weekends I spent catching up while she raised our children and kept our house and sustained our life. She never complained. That's the worst part. She never said a word. Sometimes I think that would have been easier. If she had shouted, if she had demanded that I be there. But she just let me go. She let me do what I thought I had to do, and I mistook her patience for permission. I was 58 when I retired. I thought we would travel. I thought we would finally have time. And we did, for a while. We took a cruise. We visited my daughter in California. We sat on the porch at night and talked about nonsense, but something had changed. The kids were gone. The house was silent. And Margaret and I, we were like two people who had shared a life but had forgotten how to share a room. We were kind. We were cordial. But there was a distance between us that I didn't know how to close. A distance that I had built, brick by brick, over 30 years. I'm not telling you this to elicit your pity. It's not about that. I'm telling you because maybe you are doing the same right now. Maybe you are telling yourselves that you will make time later. that you will call your mother next week, that you will take your child to the park this weekend, that you will sit down with your partner and really talk. Once you finish this project, once this term is over, once things settle down, they won't settle down. Not by themselves. You have to settle them. You have to choose. I learned this too late. There was a man I worked with when I was in my 30s, an older gentleman. His name was Frank. He had been with the company forever. One day he just left. He retired. He cleaned out his desk. They threw him a small party in the conference room. Everyone shook his hand and wished him the best. I ran into him about a year later, at the supermarket of all places. He looked different, lighter. I asked him how retirement was treating him, and he told me something I've never forgotten. He said, "You know what I realized? I spent 40 years trying to be important to people who would replace me in a week, and I spent 40 years absent from the people who couldn't replace me at all." I thought about that today, sitting here, thinking about Frank, thinking about all the meetings I attended, all the deals I closed, all the emails I answered, and I couldn't count a single one, not one. They're gone, as if they never happened. But I can tell you about the time my son fell off his bike and I wasn't there to pick him up. Margaret told me about it that night. She said he cried for an hour. Not because he was hurt. He was fine, just a scraped knee, but because he wanted me. And I was at work. I can tell you about the time my mother called, towards the end, and I let the call go to voicemail because I was in a meeting. She died 3 weeks later. I still have that message. I've never listened to it again, but I know it's there. These are the things that stay. So when the doctor talked to me about cancer, I didn't cry. I didn't panic. I just sat there and thought, okay, so this is it. This is what finally makes me pay attention. I'm not afraid of dying. I mean it. I've had a long life. I've watched my children grow up. I've held my grandchildren in my arms. I've sat on that porch with Margaret, and I have seen the sunset more times than I can count. I am grateful for all of that. But I am afraid to leave with so much unsaid, so much left undone, so much time wasted on things that didn't matter. If you are young, if you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, I am not going to tell you how to live. I don't have that right. But I will tell you what I wish someone had told me. I wish someone had told me that the people who love you are not always going to wait. They will learn to live without you. They will stop asking. They will stop waiting. And one day you will look up and realize that they have built an entire life that you are really not a part of. I wish someone had told me that success feels good for about a day, and then you need more, and more, and more, and it never fills the void. It just makes it deeper. I wish someone had told me that time is the only thing you cannot recover. You can make more money. You can fix a mistake. You can apologize. But you can't get back a single hour. Not one. I wish someone had told me that being present, truly present, is the hardest and most important thing you will ever do, and that no one is going to reward you for it. No one is going to give you a promotion for putting down your phone and looking your child in the eyes, but that child will remember, or they will remember that you didn't. I know this sounds heavy. I know it's not easy to hear, but I'm not saying it to overwhelm you. I'm saying it because my time to say something is running out, and I think that if at least one person hears this and makes a different decision, if at least one person puts down the papers and picks up their child, then maybe this wasn't just me talking to the darkness. Margaret and I sit on the porch almost every afternoon now. We don't talk much. We don't need to. But sometimes she reaches out and takes my hand, and I hold her. And I think of all the years I didn't hold her. All the afternoons when I was elsewhere. All the times she was here, waiting, and I never showed up. I can't get those years back. I know that. But I can hold her hand now. I can be here now. And maybe that counts for something. Maybe it's everything. If you are hearing this, and something reached you, if you felt that little tug in your chest, that silent pain, don't ignore it. That's not guilt. It's not me trying to make you feel bad. That's you. It's the part of you that already knows. That already knows what matters. That already knows you are adrift. Listen to it, while you still can. I am 74 years old. I have cancer. And I am not afraid. But I am sad. I am sad for the drawings I didn't look at, for the calls I didn't answer, for the hand I didn't hold. Don't be like me, be there. That's all I have to say.